What's good, y'all? It's your girl, the Hood Alchemist. Ayy.
It's your girl, the Hood Alchemist. It's your girl, the Hood Alchemist. What? It's your girl, the Hood. It's your girl, the Hood. It's your girl, the Hood.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl, the Hood Alchemist, here bringing you the art of transformation infused with so much flavor and so much culture, y'all. That's right, I said flavor and culture. And if you haven't already, make sure you drop a comment below. Let me know what's going on with you today. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you can keep receiving more healing and flavorful content from your girl. What's good? What's good? What's good? Alright, y'all, so I am recording this video partially outside. The door is open. What the fuck? It's a dog floating in the river. See? The dog done took a swim. Okay, I'm recording this video outside, so if you hear any other noises, that is because I cannot control the sound of the jungle, okay? So, yes, just ignore it. Just keep focused on my pretty face, okay? You know, this your girl got her hair done. I had freeform locks for 5 years, and this is my first time letting anybody do my hair. Why? Because your girl needed to see her scalp. Your girl needed to feel, I needed to just feel a little like, I just need to feel a little did up, okay? But in this video, I am going to be telling a story that I know a lot of people on my channel have been wanting to hear, and that I have low-key been avoiding, in all honesty. But in this video, I'm going to tell you how I moved abroad, how I moved to another country, and this situation, how I moved to Belize. So stay tuned, grab you a snack, get you a sip of water, get a friend, watch the video with them, drop a comment below. You know, I'll wait, go ahead. Okay, now let's get into it. Okay, so as of the recording time of this video, I have been living in Belize for basically a year and a half. Do I know how long I'm going to be here? No, I don't know. I do know that Belize has become another home for me, so I'll probably always have a part of me in Belize, or you know, want to like come back here. It's also my first time even leaving the country. I know some people travel a whole lot and then they go to places and they stay, but my first time leaving the country, well, I went to Canada. I used to go to Canada all the time when I was little, but I don't really think that counts. But my first time actually leaving the country, I just left. I just moved away. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit how that occurred. I've seen a lot of people in the comments wanting to know, like, how did you do this? And can you tell me about rentals? And can you tell me about this? And the answer to that question is no. Actually, I can't. And after you hear this story, you'll understand why. So okay, let's run it back. So I originally had a friend who was living in Belize years ago, and she wanted me to come visit, and they were here doing stuff with artists, and she was like, I think you would love it here, and blah 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 blah. So she planted the seed in my ear, which made me look up Belize and want to get to know the people, the history, the culture. And so I did a lot of research. I spent years researching. Actually, my friend lived here, and I never even came here until after she left, and she was here for at least 3 years. So I spent a few years just doing some research and even looking up Belize, understanding the language, understanding the cultures, understanding how the people got here, recognizing that, you know, there was people who migrated from the Yucatan, there were people who migrated here who were of African descent, of Carib, you know, Caribbean indigenous descent. And it's just the people who live here, it's a perfect cultural mesh similar to what my background and my family even looks like. So part of my reason for wanting to come to Belize was because I felt like it could connect me closer to the ways of my ancestors without me having to go too far away. And so when I originally first thought about it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I never made it here. I never made it here. But I continued to research, and I continued to be like, one day I'm gonna get my passport and I'm gonna just go to Belize, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna just go. So fast forward to around 2018, me and my boo was trying to figure out where to live, and we were just like, you know what, the States is kind of overrated. And where I was at in my spiritual journey and where I was at in my life, I was just over what it meant to be black in America. And I really did want the freedom to be able to get to know myself in a deeper way. I wanted the freedom to get to know God in a deeper way. And I wanted the freedom to be able to look at the world in a different way. And I realized that in America, because I have an organizing background, I used to be a cultural worker, spiritual worker, like doing all of this stuff. And I just realized that everything that we're trying to do, for some reason, doing it here with the way that we understand ourselves and the way that we all move in community, it's just hard. So I kind of wanted to leave the country for those reasons. If you haven't watched my I think it's 7 or 10 reasons why I moved away from America, check that video out. I'll put it up here so you can check it out. But check that video out, because that even tells you some background as to why I wanted to leave the country in the first place. Because I have noticed with people in my comments that most of y'all don't really get it. When you move to another country as an American, we don't recognize how much privilege we have, and we don't recognize how much we look at everything as kind of like a vacation in a lot of ways. And it's like, when you move to another country, you become an immigrant. It's not just an expat. I feel like people say expat because it's like you got some privilege to travel and do some stuff, so you just don't recognize that some people have to actually struggle. And I was one of those struggle stories, okay? I did not come to this country with a bunch of money saved in a bank. I came to this country because I knew that if I stayed in America, I was going to lose myself even more than I had already been lost. And so we just made a decision one day. We're just going to move. And so the way that we navigated that was by utilizing the internet. We used Facebook. We joined a bunch of Facebook groups for like communities here, like, you know, connecting with people who actually lived here and talking to them. That's how we found housing. Like, that's how we found out where to go, what to do. It was literally researching and talking to people. There's so many people that reach out to me like, can you do this? And no, get on Facebook, get on Google, do some research. I'm not about to teach you how to go and become a colonizer, okay? Because I feel like the way that I moved here, I had to learn how to get it. And I had to learn how to get it in a way that wasn't me impeding on everybody else's space, because I was on the same playing field. You know, when we first got here the first year, we couldn't even afford a taxi, and taxis cost $2 US. So I literally came here with enough money to pay my rent for a few months, and that was it. But also with the mindset and the mentality of knowing that I can't go to this other place and just kind of integrate the way I normally would. Why? Because I am not from there. Why? Because I don't have citizenship. That's also another thing. When you're moving to another country, you have to go to immigration every month. You have to pay fees. Like, there are certain things that, like, you got to think about. So what we did was we just saved some money. We literally realized, like, if we try to save too much money, then we'll just be waiting for forever. So we had to just make a decision and be like, we're going to save this money, and we're going to do everything we can so that when we get there, we can set ourselves up to be better off. So I shifted a lot of my work to online. I already work with clients one-on-one, so it wasn't that hard. But then getting here, we didn't have Wi-Fi for the first few months, so that kind of threw that plan out the window. And so coming to Belize for me was more so like me throwing myself into a very humbling situation. Now, I know if you're probably watching this video, you might be a person who saved some money, or just might be a person who, you know, they have a retirement program. So a lot of people come here because they already got that set to the side or planned. But if you're a young person, you're just going to have to understand that you're going to have to learn to be humbled, or you're going to have to come very prepared. You know, I'm not saying that you need $10,000. I'm not saying that you need $20,000. Hell, I'm not even saying you need $5,000. You just want to understand that you're going to have to really be on it. Also, the thing with coming here is that even though I'm black, even though I don't come from money, you know, even though I'm a person who has had to like work for everything that they have, once you leave America and you go other places, people are going to just look at you like you're American. So that's also been a big thing here. It's like running into people who hear my accent. You know, they see me. If I'm not speaking, people just assume, oh, okay, she one of us. But then once they hear my accent, everybody is kind of trying to get over on you, because they're like, you American, you got it. You know, not recognizing that. So it was really hard for us. It was very isolating. Like, moving to Belize at first was a very isolating and humbling experience. The people back home didn't really understand, because they're like, well, if you moved there, then you on vacation, you in paradise, you got it. So even having to ask for help sometimes was hard, because there were times when I had to ask for help. Would I advocate that everybody do it the way I did it? No. But I also know in my situation, I just needed a change of scenery. I needed to get up and go, and I needed to force myself in a position to where I didn't know anything and I could just like make myself level up. And so here we are a year and a half later, and obviously I'm not struggling the way I was, but it still is an everyday, like, okay, like this is a present time thing, you know, like. So on my journey to moving here, it really was just me utilizing the internet to like secure a space to live. And even once we got here, we realized that that wasn't going to work because, again, they charge you American prices, but when you get here, the economy is not the same. So even recognizing the ways in which you're kind of being treated unfairly because you come from America, that is all stuff that you're going to have to deal with and you're going to have to get over, and you can't make the people around you feel bad for it. So even when people ask me, I'm like, I thought this video would be longer, but it's not going to be long, because in order for you to move to another country, you really just have to make the decision. And then you have to show up, you know, whether that be you saving money or whether that be you just taking everything that you have and making it work, you know. But also remember that you need to respect the guidelines of other countries. Don't go to other countries not paying your dues, not doing what you're supposed to do, you know, like that ain't cool. Like that ain't fair. That ain't right, you know. But also, me being a person of color who came from America, who comes from a background that is just as poor, but it's in America, I also had to learn how to stand my ground and to let people know you can't take advantage of me. You know, like you can't try to swindle me, you can't act like you know me, and you can't treat me like every other white American that done came here. And I know some of the white people that come here ain't got a bunch of money either, but it's still just an air about being white abroad that everybody just assumes, and white people feed into that stuff. So I've had to spend a lot of this experience just trying to be grounded in who I am and not lose that. But it's really not hard. It's really not hard to move. You really just have to make the choice and prepare yourself. And be willing to not want to live the same way you lived in the place that you came from. You know, so like to come here and to think that like I'm gonna eat American foods, that's gonna make it expensive. Like we came here and we start eating like the people here. Why? Because eating imported food costs more. You know, like even recognize with living. Like if you want to live in some luxurious house, then you're gonna have to pay for that. And most times, if you got American money, they're gonna want American money. But we really made a point to want to live like the people here, to have no problem living in houses like the people who actually live here live in. You know, when we first got here, we didn't make American friends. Most of our friends for the first part of our journey, or not even just American, but we didn't make expat friends. Most of our friends for the first part of this journey were Belizeans, and Belizeans have been the ones who have had our back. They've also been some of the ones who have tried to get over on us, but the ones who really know our hearts and see our intention and see that we are here with good intention and here wanting to actually bring something to the table and then like vest in the local community, like they respect us and they look out for us. But I don't know, moving abroad is not that hard. You really just have to be dedicated. You have to be willing to learn like outside of your own comfort zone. Like you have to be willing to like know more than just like about yourself, and be willing to learn about the place that you're going to. I think if I hadn't spent 3 years researching Belize, it probably would have been a way different story coming here. But because I was well versed when I got here on just what to expect and what the economy looks like and what their lives actually look like here, it helped me to move a different way. You know, when you move to a country and the average person is making like $2 US minimum wage countrywide, then you don't come in showing up with, you know, like you just move different. You just move different. I really had different plans for this video. I was just going, but now that I'm telling the story, I'm like, it really wasn't that complicated. We spent a couple months doing heavy research on Facebook and on the internet, and my boo worked at a warehouse to save money, and I like saved every penny that I had working with my clients and doing the cleanses that I was doing, and we just brought that, and at some point we ran out, but we just, you know, I think God wanted us here, so God made a way. There was a month we was living off avocados for the month, you know, but we made it, you know. And now looking back, I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for that experience. Like I'm grateful for everything that it taught me. So I guess my real advice for a person who wants to move abroad is to be willing to get out of your comfort zone, to be willing to like shake what you thought you knew, and to like be prepared to really connect with people, you know, especially if you're coming from America, because America is so privileged. Even black folks, some of our weirdest encounters here have been with Black Americans. Black Americans have been the ones trying to get over on us the most. So if you're trying to move abroad, just check your motives, and ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? And what about myself am I willing to leave behind? And utilize the internet. The internet is your friend. Facebook is actually a good resource for wanting to connect with people in other countries, because not everybody has all the other stuff, like the other apps. Like, it's not as easy to get access to stuff like that. So utilizing Facebook, a lot of countries use Facebook as a prime source for connection, for selling, for rentals, for all of that stuff. So if you really are interested in moving to another place, like, do that. We literally packed our stuff in like 5 bags, and we took everything that we had on that airplane and just came here with $1 in a dream, okay? Literally with $1 in a dream. And no, I wouldn't advocate that for everybody. I know somebody would probably look at me and be like, well, why didn't you prepare better? Because it's like, if you poor in America, it's like, I'm not waiting until I retire for me to be able to live the life that I dreamed and imagined, even if I have to struggle a little bit to make it happen, and that's what most people don't realize. Traveling is not easy. And it really requires you to get over yourself. It really requires you to get out of your own way, But it's worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I mean, obviously, if I could, I would go back and give us more money. But even that, I feel like if we had more money, we probably would have been the people who was off in our little tower doing us and not really connecting with the community and not really getting to know people, So, yeah. I definitely thought this video was going to be more than that, but apparently it's not. So if you have any questions, that aren't stupid, or that aren't kind of like ego based, or aren't like you could have asked the internet that, drop them in the comments below and I'll make another video like with better stuff. But I left from Houston, Texas, and traveled to Belize. We came here with 5 suitcases. I came here with a bag of books and herbs and stuff, because that's my thing. And it was not easy. It was not easy, but it was definitely worth it. It was definitely worth it. So yeah, if you like this video, drop a comment below, like it, like it, share, comment, subscribe. You know the vibes. Okay? I love y'all.